The final two examples are very similar to what we've already done. So if you want to pause the video right now, work the next two examples, and then watch the video as a check, that would be a great kind of practice of your understanding. The other thing I'm going to show you now in number 4 is how we begin to justify our steps. You don't have to do this yet, but this is where we're going. This is the beginning of the dreaded proof word if you've talked to your peers about geometry. And it really isn't that bad. Students get far more worked up about proofs than they need to be. It's just providing a reason why you can do every step. And you know those reasons when it comes to algebra. So it's a really nice way to start. So find the measures of angle ABD and DBC. So again, we have to look at the picture and figure out what information does the picture give me. There are no hash marks or notations on the picture, so I don't know anything from there. I do know these are adjacent because they share this side. And in fact, they're a special kind of adjacent because they form a line. So they are my linear pairs. And because they're a linear pair, I know they're going to add up to 180 degrees. So the first thing that I'm going to write, if I'm going to be extremely formal, which you don't have to be yet, but I'm just going to introduce it to you, is that angle ABD plus angle DBC equals 180. And the reason I can say that is the linear pair theorem. We'll begin to make this T-chart. Then, just like we saw in the other one, I know how big ABD is. So I'm going to replace that. And I'm going to say that 3x plus 7 plus, and I'm going to replace this, 5x minus 3 equals 180. And whenever we replace, just like in sports, it's a substitution. In a recipe, in math, we substitute. So I substituted values in for the names of the angles. Now I'm going to put my like terms. I'm going to do algebra. 3x plus 5x is 8x plus 7 minus 3 plus 4 equals 180. And if you remember from algebra, that's called combining like terms. Now I have to get the x alone, so I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. And the rule that lets me do that is subtraction. And then I need to get x alone, so I'm going to undo multiplication by division. X equals 22. And what let me do that was division. And that is all there is to a proof. It's just saying what algebra, rule, or law lets you do each step. So really not that bad. The last hint I want to give you on this example, given a diagram in 1 or 2 starting pieces of information, find this whole big list. And a lot of times the order that that list is in is not the order that your brain is going to see the problem in. So I recommend you work on the picture first. So fill in the picture. Then go back and fill in the answers that you need that we're asking for. So where is this INJ? INJ, 63, right here. Now, first thing I see is this 90 degrees. So together, those two have to be 90. That means that J and K, this one right here, is 90 minus 63, which is 27. Now, I may also have seen a little crisscross action here. If INJ is 63, shared vertex, not a shared side, by vertical angles, MNL is also 63. Does it matter what order I saw those in? Nope. That's why I say work on the picture and then go back to the answers. Now, some others of you may have said, but you know, I see a straight line, and I know that any two angles that make a straight line have to add up to 180 by the linear pair theorem. And so if I take 180 minus 63, I find out that I to N to M is 117. And you could turn around and do the same logic on this side. that all three of these angles have to add up to 180. So 180 minus 27 minus 63 is actually 90. Or maybe you saw that this line would have to add up, and I already had 90, which means this one has to be 90. So there's lots of ways. If you look over at your neighbors, when that's okay, and they've found it by a different method, that's okay. The final answer has to be the same. The methods can be different. So now that I have my picture filled in, I come over here and say JNK, JN to K is 27. KNL, K to N to L is 90. M to N to I is 117. And M to N to L is 63. So that ends section 1. I hope you feel more comfortable with the new terms and some of the new properties, and good luck on your homework.